Okay, and I'm super excited physics, and now I found myself a little bit into the silver bullet that is here. I'm a little bit into the silver bullet, yet another bidirectional note-taking app, self-hosting application, or PKM, personal knowledge management tool, and I'm a little bit into it, and I'm not also into this app, but also into the something like the tree systems, underlying, the file or folder structures of it. It seems that it is easy, right, for anybody to that is already grown up or an adult. They are familiar with the either Windows or Mac or Linux system. They have some folder structures, right? Folders, and files, right? So anybody is familiar with the current, cell phones or PCs or laptops, they should be familiar with some file systems. And its file systems is a tree system, and it is precise to express the unique location or ID of a file or folder, right? So on the disk, so what I'm saying is that let's compare three softwares, note-taking apps. The first is Obsidian, OB, the second is Siyuan or SY, and the third is the Silver Bullet or SB, right? So when I was, developing another thing, plugin, I'm developing some plugins of it, and for the past 2 months, and I found that Silver Bullet is really, really easy to understand or into, but fucking hard to dive into. If you're programming it with some, first is Lua, space Lua, and second would be some CSS and JS, and third should be TS plugin. If you're into it, you will find yourself, you'll find Silver Bullet is very easy to, not that easy, right? It's a little bit hacky to deploy, so, but very easy to get into the mind flow, the workflow of it, and there's so many commands of it, and you can design your own commands, and your hooks, your anyway, it's a system of your own. So little by little, you'll find yourself, like me, a little bit into it. I'm not only into this app. I play with all kinds of other apps, Logsec and any type, and right, there's some other note-taking apps, Romedit, right? There's so many other apps and note-taking apps, but so let's just randomly pick 3 note-taking apps. The first is Obsidian, the second is Siyuan, the third is Silver Bullet. I'm a fan of PKM, and I'm also a fan of tree systems. And this is the first episode about tree system, that is specifically file or folder structure or hierarchy or tree system, right? There are 3 systems, tree systems, typically. The first is this one, right? And the second would be breadcrumbs here, right? Or I can show you some Siyuan's breadcrumbs, right? The breadcrumb plugin or official breadcrumbs outside out page, right? This is in page breadcrumb plugin, So this is the second tree system I want to introduce in this triology, in the second episode of triology. And how about the third tree system? I think you're able to understand it for a little bit. That is the headings of any website online, right? headings of a GitHub repo, the README file, right? Headings of something of your documents, right? The headings of another one, your IDEs, right? Here, there's some pin headings, right? And so, which means there's some pin headings. So there are so many file systems around us. Yet we have little bit, not much recognition. At the beginning, maybe you think that's easy. It's easy as easy as ABC, like Silver Bullet in the beginning. But when you dive into it, you fucking find. I'm sorry. It's complex. If you want to describe it, or let me show you. If you want to build another app, TS or JS plug inside Silver Bullet, or any other app, you want to develop your own tree view plugin to demonstrating or showing or tracking the file system or folder structures hierarchies here, like this. If you want to develop something like that and make it responsive and make it and coloring it, both the text and the background of it, it costs some, it costs some minds of it. There's something more about the tree systems that is, that you think you are familiar with, but no. Trust me, no. I mean, if you want to describe the things that I am developing, first, if you want to vibe coding it, you have to describe it precisely, right? So, okay, let's use Luna. We have to translate for a little bit. So, if you want to vibe coding this plugin, you have to first describe it clearly. Otherwise you ask for help, but right, you cannot achieve the same effect, right? So this episode about the tree or file system here, what I want to do is trying to make you or make myself clear about some logic behind the responsive behavior of this file or folder tree view system or plugin here. It's a little bit complex than the OBS or Siyuan's official tree view plugin here in Silver Bullet. It's a little bit complex like that, and that's because these are 3 generations of it. The first one is tree view plugins here, made by our ancestors in Silver Bullet, and another Doom one that is a theme here. Where's that shit? I mean, it's Xvideos style and theme and Doom 1. This Doom 1 plugin, and a favor of a fan of it, and I'm a fan of it too. And I developed into Doom 2 plugin, so I add some responsive behavior of it. And if you're a logsec, if you are a logsec user, you might. You might familiar with some another tree. How do you say a plugin? I mean this. That is the something like this one. This is another, bullets. It operates on bullets or outlines or some indent structures, right? So this is yet another tree view, right? Responsive behavior of it. So there's something more to say. These are all kinds of tree view system. But this episode, I'm going to explain the color of the Doom 2 theme. right? So there are three front colors. The first is blue, the second is green, the third one is how do you say, pink or maroon, right? So the blue, green, maroon, and what's that? What is the green color? The front color, the text color. Okay, it means that there's something in that. It's a folder, yet it is also a file, and there's some text or information stored in this file. 3 points. It's a folder, it's a file, and there's something in this file on your disk. Ultimately, as something, bits on your disk. So how about the green one? It's a folder. It's not a file. It doesn't have a file. I mean, it's a folder. It's not a file, or it's a file with zero information stored in that. So how about the pink one? The pink text is about, it's not a folder, right? It's a file. It's a file has something stored in underline, at the bottom, right? It's not a folder. It's a file at the bottom and it stores something. So these are three stuff. It's how to say, these three stuff. Or you can view something, or you can say something like, if it is not green and pink, then it should be blue. Vice versa, if it is not blue or and green, it is pink, right? So okay, it is all about the front color of a tree or tree system, is specifically file or folder structure. So there are some colors out there, right? And there should be some colors out there, right? Because it's another dimension of information representation, right? So it is but it is just the front color. It's the text color. There's some background color. There are some background color, as you might see. There's some background colors, but so what is the background color? There are some blue ones, right? What we discovered now. There's some white ones, but deeper. There's some white ones, but shallower, right? Or something like, or thinner, or something like that. And there are some pink ones, right? There's some pink ones. What is that? There are 4 colors. One color more, right? So what does it mean? What does this information behind the background colors mean? Okay, here what does it mean? So first of all, if you click somewhere, any folder, any file, it should be, the background color should be white, but yet deep, right? And if you click something anywhere, either at the bottom or at the ground or top or in between, it should be the white and deep. It's background color. And how about the fathers of it, or the fathers of it, that is father's father, that is a grandpa of it, or the first ancestor of the folder or file that you click, should be in line with its front color. The background color of it should be in line with its front color. If it is green, the front color of it is, if it is green, the background color should be green. I mean, the front color, if it is blue, the background color should be blue. That is the first ancestor. If you trace the history, the ancestors of ancestors of ancestors, to the root of the folder or file or object or page that you are clicking. The farthest of it should be in line with its own color. I mean, that's my design. I don't know your design, but that's my design. So how about and anything or any folders in between the object or page you click, in between or among, between the object you click and the ancestors of it should be painted in, the background color should be white, yet not that deep. I mean, white but shallower, the background color of these page objects, right? So the name of it. So what am I saying is that, okay, now we explain 3 colors. One color is missing. That is these pink backgrounds. What does it mean? It means that it is already at the bottom, and it is a fire, and it has something, right? It has some words in that, stored in that, or maybe some other pictures in that. It is something at the bottom, and it is a fire, and it has some words in that. That is the object you are going to navigating, right? You are going to editing, you are going to viewing. Is the most heaviest information stored in those files, right? It's just kind of view feedback. So now we have there's something, and also there's something missing. That is anything at the bottom, and between the bottom and the thing and the object you click, there are some folders too, like the 并且幸运 here, and its background color should be painted as the same as the at the top and between the top and the object you click, the current page, right? Between the top and the current page, it's white yet shallower. Between the bottom and your page and the thing you click, it's still white, still and shallower, right? So the logic is pretty much like this. So I think this file system is good, and the reason why it's good is that it shows where you are, right? Where you are, and what is your ancestors or your siblings. Siblings hasn't shown here, right? Just your ancestors and your children's, right? The children's of it, right? And what your current how to say, which folder or file you are currently browsing, right? And what's more is that the entire hierarchy of the current selection page, I mean the tree branch of it. So the logic I design is pretty much like that. Siblings shouldn't be here. That's because the siblings of your clicking shouldn't be here. That's because it should be here, I suppose, but I haven't included because it's already 4 or 3 colors, so it's a little bit visually distracting. So, but we will see something, how to say, maybe later. In another tree system, we'll see some siblings here, right? But it's in the next episode, not this episode of the triology. So I think this episode is almost done. And there's something more. That is the color of the triangles, right? It shows you. It looks like a log6 plugin, right? It shows you where you are again. Where you are. The hover over of your mouse, right? Hover over some objects or some pages or folders or files. It tells you where you are. Again, like the red triangle, spanned or not spanned, and the file or folder or pages object's name and turn into white, right? So it tells you where you are and not what you click. The what you click is governed by the background color. Where you are is about the front color combined with the triangle's color, right? Pretty much like the log6. But log6 is click, using this logic to show it's clicking. But I'm using this logic to show it's the location of hovering over but yet not clicking. So there are three kinds of logic right now. Front color, background color, and hovering logic, right? The hovering color. So it's just, if you are really into or dive into this tree system, there's a lot of things you could play with. I'll show you yet another. This file system, right? This file system, tree system 2, tree system 1, and tree system 2, in page, and it's across pages, and in page tree system 3, that is heading structures, and tree system, let's say this one, right? Tree system 3 or 4 or 3.5, or tree system 4, that's the breadcrumbs. And there's another tree system. I'll show you something like Shift Alt K, right? This is another page systems, right? And there's something like Shift Alt H, and this is another tree system that's heading structure. But the colors are quite not the same. The logic is behind it. It's not something you are familiar with, right? the orange one, the blue one. What does it mean? Okay, I'll show you something. It's just how do you say? Where is that? Right. So there's so many tree systems. Lasting for a week. I'm just into maybe 2 weeks. I'm into all kinds of tree systems. So this episode has already show you the tree system. How to say the disk or file or folder or page tree systems in Tree View plugin in Silverbullet. The logic behind it, that is the Doom 2's themes, the logic behind the Tree View structure or hierarchy. So the next episode, I'm going to talk about this one, that is the breadcrumbs. I mean, in Siyuan, the breadcrumbs, I am trying to imitate this one. I think, okay, there's another thing I'm missing, that is in the Silverbullet tree system, right? It's pinned at the, left, it's sidebar, right? It's pinned at sidebar. And of course you can cancel it, hide it, show it, and but the thing is there are something breadcrumbs. I think this is, just tell me if what is better, which is better, horizontally or vertically shown the structure. These three official ones is as a list, right? There's some indent as a list, but it's just vertically. But in Siyuan, there's some horizontally ones, right? There's some design philosophy of it. Horizontally breadcrumbs of file folder tree structures, but you can click something and then it becomes the list, and vertically, right? First horizontally and click becomes vertically. So there's some philosophy behind it. I think this is better. But I don't know why they designed it, and by default is as a long list vertically. So I think this is better to some extent, right? I think this breadcrumb is better, and inspired by it, I made another one, another breadcrumbs here, right, horizontally, as a widget in Silverblade, or as a top widget or top breadcrumbs, right? And there's some there's some bottom breadcrumbs, and I'll show you something like that in the next episode, the second episode of the triology. Okay, here comes the second episode of this live stream or video. Okay, in the first episode we introduced some 3 file or folder tree structures or hierarchies or systems in both Siyuan, right, and Obsidian and Silverblade. We are going to cover some basics of another tree system, that is a breadcrumbs, and I found it in Siyuan at first. I found there are vertical, right, tree system of file folder structures, and there are some horizontal file or folder structures here. So I'm just okay. The 2 things are the same, right? And it helps you navigate. It's mainly oriented to helping you navigate between files or folders, right? I found this one is charming because it is both horizontal and vertical, right? If you not click the arrows, it is horizontal. If you click the arrows, it's vertical. So it charms me. That's because if you combine the arrows, if you calculate the how to say the arrows of it, the space or image, or how to say, it's a square, and it's not a very long, very thin column. It's no very long, very thin line, right? It's not a row, it's not a column, it's not a list, right? It's a 2-dimensional thing. It's not a 1-dimensional line or list. So that's what I want. So inspired by this Siyuan structure, I developed something like some breadcrumb plugin, right? That is, you can pick, if you click the arrows here, you can pick the siblings of 科学知识 or Hello Siyuan or 飞行光学. If you click this arrow, it picks its siblings, right? However, if you click this one, it picks siblings too, right? The siblings of 冰雪奇缘, the siblings of input method, the siblings of language, right? The siblings of language. Let's go back. Oh, we can go back? For what? Okay. Shift Alt H. Holy shit, where's the language? Sorry. Okay, where I belong. Okay, so we come back. Anyway, so the logic is pretty much like Siyuan's, right? This triangle equals to the emoji here, right? But it shows you how much of it, how many siblings you have. There are 15 siblings of language. There are 1 sibling of input method, right? There are 7 siblings of 冰雪奇缘. So it shows you the counts of it. And what's more, maybe if you get inside something like if you get inside, I mean, I don't know how to say, but if you get inside some pages, there are no emojis here. If there's no emojis here, it means there's no siblings of it, right? It hints you. It doesn't show you, but it hints you. It doesn't show you in the at the appearance, right? It just underline implies that there's no simplings of it. So there are 14 simplings of it, and you know the colors of it is different. It's in blue t-shirts, 2 men in blue t-shirts, right? This emoji and 2 men, 2 men in blue t-shirts, and some other shirts is 2 men. Sometimes it's 2 men in orange shirts. For what? It's because it's at the bottom, right? It shows you. It immediately shows you it's at the bottom, and right, because these 2 men wearing different colors of t-shirts, right? And it already, this one shows you at the bottom too, because there's no children of it, so it's just how many times you visit this page. So okay, let's get back. If you are not at the bottom, if you are not a page at the, or a file that contains information at the bottom, contain words at the bottom, you will have some children's, and if you click it, you'll go to your children's, right? And it proves that my saying is correct, because that where is that shit? Sorry, because that you are currently in this file or folder that has information contains, right? It has 2 files as its children or child, so there are 2 of it, right? So if you click config, there are so many children of it. Right, there's so many children, 55 children of it, and it's 14. It has 14 siblings. Very, very direct than Si Yuan's official, you know, this one. But of course, Si Yuan's is a lot more better, a lot better, because it allows you to choose the branches, and you know, go to the branches. Just it allows you to choose branches directly, right? From anywhere and to anywhere, right? But not my sheets. My sheets is just 2 siblings. It's not a branch, but it's a start of a branch, right? So this is a drawback of my plugin. However, it's fixable, because inside Silverbuilder you can edit your own plugins. Right, you can program it yourself. So, but there one benefit I'll show you. The benefit is that if there are 55 children of it, how could you filter it? In Si Yuan, you want to use the this one, right? This filtering first time and second time or some shit, right? So you will filter many times. But in terms of its siblings, you can only hover over and see if it is what you want. But inside Silverbuilder and in your plugin, or specifically my plugin, you can design it as the click it, and you can query it. You know, just for example, you wanna I wanna find a folder called select some shit, right? So you know, that's just, you can search it, type some words, and filtering the simpling's name, right? Is another difference or advantages of the plugin made in Silverbuilder. So both of them have drawbacks and advantages, and long, how to say, strengths, right? So this is a top widget in Silverbuilder that renders every time you open a page. And there's something that is bottom widget. It is yet another logic of it. That is by default it shows you the children of a page, the children of a folder or file, the children, right? In the past, and at the end, in the top, it shows you the children, but at the bottom, in the end, it shows the sibling. So it switches. In the top, it shows the sibling and the children. In the bottom, at the bottom, it shows you the children and the sibling. Just children and sibling are switched. This is the last modified files as a sibling, and this is our last view files or folders or pages as a sibling, and this is as children. Anyway, it's just 互补的, and how to say in Chinese, translated in English. 互补 translated in English. It's just what I mean, or what these plugins breadcrumbs mean, right? So, okay, this is almost about the second episode of the triology. That is the breadcrumbs, the top or bottom breadcrumbs of another tree or tree system, right? So, okay, how about the last tree or file system, that is pinned headings, right? Pretty much like the anti-gravity or cursor or some VS Code, right? There are some pinned headings out there, and the JetBrains, right? There are some JetBrains have the same effect, I suppose. So this okay, let's dive into the third episode, the pinned headings or the heading structures right here, right? Okay, where am I? Okay, the pinned headings here, right? Pinned headings and the pinned headings. What does it mean now, right? Okay, so it's a tree system again. You have to just sharpen your mind to understand what the fuck is that, right? Okay, this is yet another tree system that is a heading, pinned headings. Okay, let's dive into this third tree systems that I developed. Okay, the third tree system, also known as, aka pinned headings. That is, I when I was using other IDEs, right? For example, Cursor, Anti-Gravity, or the something like Cloud Code, I'm not so sure, and some JetBrains, right? And some VS Code, right? All kinds of IDEs. When you are using them, right? Or some, how to say, the studio, I don't know. So in these plugins, in these IDEs, you'll find there have either some pinned headings, either as plugins or inherits from the products itself. There are some pinned headings, and I, inspired by that, therefore developed some pinned headings. Theme as a plugin inside Silverblade, that is HHH theme, right? So as you can see, when my mouse hover over in this Silverblade's main editor built with CodeMirror, and I inherit from the CodeMirror 6, when my mouse hover over the heading of it or the content below the heading, it will show you that the entire tree of the object or the arrow that I'm focusing on. I mean, my mouse focusing on. It's not about the location of the how to say the. Yes, it's about the location, and it's about the mouse hovering over it, right? Just depends on which is the last move the last movements of which, right? If the last movement is about the cursor's position, then it will be triggered by the cursor's position, and it tells you where the cursor's position comes from, and it shows you where the cursor's positions, the contents of it belongs, which tree branch it belongs. But when the cursors don't move, and you move your mouse, the hovering over anything, it will shows you, click anything, right? Edit anything, it will dynamically shows you the last click, the last edit, and the last click, last edit, and the last hovering over, right? It's just the logic. I mean, just another 3 things, another triology. I'm sorry, I love triologies. My paper is about triology too. I'm sorry, so I'm not gonna show you. So the thing is, this third, how to say? Now you know the what do I mean when I say that the tree branch of the current focus or click or edit or the hovering over, right? What do I mean when I say what do I mean when I say the tree branch of the current hovering over a focus? Okay, it means that for example, let me take some examples. It means that when you hovering over 222 SSS, right, this is heading, it will shows you that your father is 111AA, and you are 222 SSSS, and your children is 323 DDD, right, as the third child. I'm sorry, third child, and child 2, child 1, child 2, right? And this is your grandchildren, grandchildren 1, grandchildren 2, grandchildren 3, and grandchildren 1, and grandchildren 1, and grandchildren 2, right? It shows you the children's are all here, the fathers are all here, and this is you, the last one, and you can click it. And that's the most interesting, that you can fucking click it, right? Pretty much like in anti-gravity, you can click the headings, right? I can go ahead till the end of it, right? Till the beginning of this document. So, which means it's it's just fucking funny. Can you see that? Even if your mouse is not hovering over any headers or headings, you're hovering over or click or edit the content below the headings, right? Anywhere in the document. Okay, not alongside, but have to inside the SB main editor. It will show you that it will automatically just pop out the fathers and sisters and the children's of these headings, or the content you're editing, or the content you're hovering over, or the something, the focus of it. You could type something, enter. It will show you, and will highlight both the background color and the front color will be highlighted as the current style, into formatting current style, and it shows you that you are currently editing under editor, right? This is further heading, and below this further heading you have here some to show you, right? So you can navigate anywhere, from anywhere, and to anywhere. For example, for example, we can go back, right? Of course, here we can do something alike. For example, if we are at the bottom, we click the outline, I click the further of it, and slightly go up and click the further of it, right? Slightly go up, click the further of it. Now here we go, we are at the top. Of course we could going downstairs. That is click example and click the example and click the DDD and we click the outline, and here we go, we are at the bottom. It shows you, or it means, or there's some underlying mechanism is that the underlying words that I'm saying that you can go to anywhere. I'm just showing you can go upstairs and downstairs, but you can go to anywhere, right? And it shows you the current focus of it. What you are editing, the context of your editing, right? The fathers, the children's, and the where you are, right? So this means that tree systems are everywhere in our managements, in our note-taking apps, and beyond note-taking apps, right? The storage systems, right? They might seem as easy as ABC, but no, it turns no. It's complex. I don't know if you are familiar with Sir Michael Berry. He says something that there's no, I mean, pretty much like that. I'm not so sure if it is identical words as. He says that there's no simple things. Anything simple, like Einstein's leaf, right, in the trunk or in the tree, on the tree, there's nothing simple. There's no simple things. There are only simple humans, or simple minds, or simple brains. There are no simple things. Anything that it seems simple, or you think that is simple, I don't think so, really, or someone don't think so. It depends on the previous experiences of you, some hints of it, right? There's some interactions between all those softwares, all those note-taking apps, and abstract them into one. Abstract those specific plugins or systems out there, abstract them into one hierarchy, into one system, tree system, and you get into your head and you're fusing, and you're trying to picturing the precise meanings underlying that shit, and you're just trying to get the essence of it, get the nature of it. You're trying to think. Oh, then you're just trying to understand it. And you finally you do understand it to some extent, but I don't think so. There's always something beyond your imagination, right? For example, Shift Alt E, right? We are going to get into something, right? IDEs, right? There are some. So there are a lot of tree systems surrounds us, and I hope this trilogy, and this is the third episode, right? And the first two. I hope this entire trilogy will give you another view of the tree systems that surround us, and of course the civilities and a lot of other note-taking apps, bidirectional. They are not bind or confine themselves in the tree systems. They are far more than that. For example, there are some linked mentions, there are some linked tasks, and they are bidirectional. If you click here, if you create a link, this is a forward link, right? You click that, and there are some backward links, right? So there's something more. I can show you something more than that. There's a forward link, backward link, folder link, right? Header link, list link, right? Tags, and there's something more that is called graph, and how to say that is, and 有向图, how to say, directional graph, right? So you can do a lot of, you can build something more than you can imagine inside Silver Bullet. I'm not bragging about this software. I'm bragging about, as you can say, I'm not someone. I believe in some, the philosophy behind it. I'm not so keen to one software, right? I'm keen to some philosophy and the ideas behind it. I'm an INTP. I'm sorry. I'm keen to some ideas. I'm not keen to a specific thing, but yes, I'm changing, varying, and mutating, and variation or some shit. But I'm keen to some ideas, and Silver Bullet provides you excellent experimental and productional environments for you to code your own system, especially managing system, organizing system, or note-taking apps, or whatever. It provides you some environment for you to what? How to say? To spread your seeds and see how these seeds grow into flowers, plants, and trees. Just spread the seeds. At the beginning, I know shit. I know nothing about Lua even, and now I know some Lua, something about the JS, something about CSS. Right? I don't know quite about TS right now, but I think eventually I'll understand it if I keep on doing that. But I'm not. I don't have that much time, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it's a really nice journey in the previous 2 months, I suppose. And I hope you in this. Oh, I want to say something more. That is, in this AI era, right, hit by vast information, you have to organize your own information, and what's more, you have to build your own system from within. I mean, from zero. Then you can see where the problem lies, and what is precisely the things you are looking at. You don't know it if you don't do it on your own. If you don't build system from zero, from scratch, you don't understand it. And everybody says A, and you accept A as A, it seems. But no, I mean, just you have to build something on your own, right? And share it. You know why you have to share it? That's why I'm that open-minded, and that open, is because the underlying philosophy or reason, or how to say, the logic of it is that if you don't share it, you don't fucking exist. I mean, a human, Marx says that if human is the sum of every other humans or every relations, right? If nobody remember you, how could you exist, right? And if you don't share in your shares, how could you find a job, right? So you have to share it. You build it and share it. If that sucks, even if that sucks, I don't know if this 3 episodes or this trilogy sucks. And I've written some articles. It's a trilogy too, and it sucks. And I've read some plugins, right? And maybe they sucks. Who the fuck cares? Some of them cares, but if you don't care, if you don't care, that's okay, right? Yes, I sucks, but I sucked, right? That's a past tense. That's a past tense. I once sucked, but how about now? No, right? My English, right, once and now and sucks, but sucked, but it doesn't matter. Just fucking try, and just make mistakes, and you can learn something from it, from them. And this is what I learned from, Siyuan and Obsidian itself, the main body and Siyuan plugin, and I'm now learning something. Another Obsidian plugin called breadcrumbs. because I'm searching other breadcrumbs in other note-taking apps, and I'm learning from them. You know, if you are into some silver bullets community and wandering around, you'll find that I'm a racist. To some extent, I'm a racist. At that point, I just dislike plugin, dislike Obsidian, dislike Logic, dislike this, dislike that, and I found that I like one of Obsidian plugin, that is breadcrumbs. Because I build breadcrumbs in Silverblade, and I want to find some other breadcrumbs and compare those collective or brilliant minds, or wisdom. I want to click some wisdoms of the breadcrumbs plugin. I found this breadcrumb is not breadcrumb. The breadcrumb plugins of this Obsidian is more than a breadcrumb. Oh my god, it's the logic of it is more than a breadcrumb. I don't know how to describe. Maybe another plugin will show. Maybe I build another similar plugin in Silverblade, and I show you something. And I show you the Obsidian's breadcrumb plugin's logic in Silverblade way. I mean, if I have time, because this plugin costs a lot of time to maintain and develop, and it seems that the Obsidian's breadcrumb plugin's author hasn't maintained this since 2024, I suppose. But the logic of it is eternal. I think he like me views all these plugins as experiments. Some experiments to practice sharpen your mind, to sharpen your skills and practice your philosophy, to implement your philosophy behind it. I think Silverblade is a really good way to, and right now I'm going to show you something. Shift Alt 1, right? Local function, right? Local function, blah blah blah, right? That's that. You can write something. Local ball, right? So you can and you can write something, type here and Shift Alt P, and updating clause right here, right? And this will work thanks to the Silverblade Dr. Zev's inventions. That is a little bit something like async what calls to functions. I don't know. I'm a fan of it. But I'm not a master, or I don't know the logic behind, but underlying. But I respect. So when you study physics and you don't have much time to study computer programming or some shit, so everybody's time is limited. So that's why I want to share my experiences and insights about some the attention window of myself, right? The attention window. Attention is all you need, yes, and attention is all you have. Attention is a concurrency, and that's why I sharing my attention to you guys. That's because it might cost you, well, maybe a year to understand all these shits, but you can it costs you maybe an hour to understand all this shit if boosted by me. And Silverblade is something that could sharpen your mind, but it costs your time and life. Be aware of that. It definitely costs your time or life, but it worth it, and it works for me. I'm INTP. I just like to sing all kinds of weird things, weird art management, or all kinds of weird things, because these strong ones defines the boundaries of something. It, of course, it has to be extreme. The logic, the reason behind it is, of course, it has to be something extreme. Yes, we are racist. Yes, we are a little bit hackier. No, I'm not that hackier as they have to. Yes, we are. And otherwise, why would you learn from us? Right? We are standing on the edge of it, edge of something, right? So, right, of course we're racist. I mean, it's just a joke. It don't have to be bad. Don't have to lift it on that level. Actually, we are peaceful. We are not racist in the real world. But no. Who can tell? Sometimes, and sometimes not. And just vary. And we are varying, right? So that's pretty much about the episode, the 3 episodes, or the trilogy journey of a tree system, of all kinds of tree systems. By the way, I designed some other tree systems in my PhD programming. That is, I don't know, what is that? Maybe spider. I developed some other tree systems. Maybe you are getting interested in that shit. At least when you running a program, for example, a shell environment. I'm not so sure what is that shit. Running a Python script, and there are some logs or outputs right here, right, in the console, in the Python console. So you just, for example, randomly choose one and F5. No modules. CVD. What the hell? Okay, no, this environment is not right. It's an LSD, right? I think that's an LSD. The environment has the module called CVT, I suppose. Others might not. Yet another tree system in some other environments. I mean, there's so many tree systems. One job that physicists do is to abstract, right? Abstraction from all those concrete things. You are intelligent because you are, abstract, a little bit abstract, right? The more abstract, the more intelligent you are. The more meta, the more intelligent you are. Pretty much, Zev, the builder or creator of the silver bullet, is more intelligent than me, I suppose. That's because he knows how to create this tool, and I'm just a user. Right? The creator is stronger than the user, always, right? But actually, there are some other, there are some other philosophical stuff that's there's some 形而上学的东西. I mean, the more meta, the stronger you are. You know deeper about the logic behind this world, either physical or non-physical one, right? Okay, almost there. This is yet another. What's going on? This is another tree system, right? It runs, and it shows that when it will pop up and instantly tells you that where the program is running at, and what functions it calls, right? And the hierarchy of those functions, right? That's quite interesting. You can implement it on your own programming or environments. I think this log is much better than those typical logs, right? I mentally using my strange, at that time this is some strange logic. I don't know if that's complete. There's some bugs, I suppose. There are definitely some bugs of it. Because how could you know that it's the end of it, end of a function? There's so many logics behind it. I cannot dive into it in this video. Because at that time I have no help of. I'm not assisted by the AI. and just my pure intelligence, raw intelligence, to implement those tree system, that tree system. I'm not so confident, but anyway, it just happens as a demo or some shit. Oh, and there's some other tree system I will show you. Just hit my mind. I suppose this one. My CV is another kind of tree system, and it's recursive tree system. It's in a recursive system. Have you ever seen anything like that? Every section is different, and the education section, right, is colored in the 5 kinds of colors, right? 5 kinds of colors, and it's Microsoft and Google's colors, right? And the research project system and project is formulated or formatted as another formats, and the scientific activities is another format. In publications, an academic focus, every section or headings, and the contents of every headers is formatted into another format that is completely different. Among all those headers. Quite interesting, right? So I find myself a little bit keen on tree systems since I was young. Or I mean, just since I exposed myself outside this world and to the one tree system, I just get attached to it, and it seems that I could develop something alike, and again and again and again and again. Despite the disadvantage of tree system or tree system, the disadvantage of it. If you are into some bidirectional linking system, you find the ultimate information organization should be about the graphs, and specifically should be a directional graph, right? Or vector graph. So that graph have edges, and edges have arrows, and arrows have some description text, right? That looks like the ultimate information organs or organization structures. So that should be the correct one. So compared to that direction of graph, our tree system is bullshit, is piece of shit, right? Even if the tax system is piece of shit. I'm sorry, I'm a racist. So, but why I am keen to this tree system, and I view it as a good, at least the opening to the entire organization, to the information management, the correct or the scientific information management way. Why I view it as the most important or basic one? That's because there are some advantages of this tree system. Have you ever seen? The advantage is that it is unique. It has some unique idea of it. For example, this one fire has this one absolute path, right? There couldn't be 2 fires have the same name. There could be 2 fires have the same name, but there couldn't be 2 fires have the same path. It is one-to-one. This one-to-one correspondence is crucial to fire systems. That's why it's important. And as some kind of storage system, it is important, right? So that's why underlying fire systems are organized as trees and divided as some sections and as trees. That's because it's one-on-one correspondence. But tag systems and some graph systems and bidirectional or not, directional or not, vector or not, scalar or not, all those graphs and tags, they do not have one-on-one correspondence, right? They could be queried. They could be, if you are a circle boy, they could be SQL indexed. They could be searched, but they, I don't know how to say it, but they shouldn't. File system shouldn't use this way, right? They shouldn't use this anything other than tree system, right? They couldn't adopt any other system other than tree system. I'm sorry, my English is poor. So, tree system has an advantage that nobody can replace, I suppose. I'm not so sure. Nothing can replace, but I'm not so sure. Maybe there are some better ways of organizing all those sheets. Tag systems, right? Tag system is kind of another kind of graph that is a star-like graph, right? You can see something like that. There's some. I'll show you something like that. Tag system. What is that? Shift K. Tag. Pick your tags, and there's some philosophy behind. I ask AI or large language models, LLM, the essence of tags in terms of graph. Tag system or graphs too. And bidirectional linking system or graph too. And what's the difference between all of them? And what's the differences among tags and scalar graph and vector graph as directional graph? All of the three graphs, what's the difference of them? Right, this is something that you should, if you are into some information management, maybe there are some scientific articles you should be looking for or looking after. I just ask AI to give me some hints about our impressions of these three graph systems. Maybe yet another episode, another 3 episodes, or yet another trilogy of the 3 graph systems, not 3 tree systems, right? So anyway, just I think my task is done to express myself in a way that that could be accessible, acceptable. I'm not so sure. Time to go to sleep.